We are going to get started and hope that the rest of our members show up here soon. I think they will. But we would like to start this afternoon with the University System of Maryland. The overview, Sarah Baker is our analyst, and Dr. Jay Perman is the star of our show.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to start with Exhibit 2 on page 7, which shows a change in fall undergraduate enrollment between fall 22 and 23. Overall, enrollment grew 3.2%. However, when excluding global campus, enrollment slightly declined by 0.1%. 5 institutions saw enrollment increase, with UMES experienced the highest rate of growth of 15.7%, or 300 students. At 344, Towson had the largest decrease in the number of students. A bright spot in enrollment is first-time students grew for a 5th year due to increases at College Park and Towson, but 4 institutions did see enrollment of the first-time students decline. Exhibit 3 on page 9 shows the impact COVID had on undergraduate enrollment. Fall 2019 is used as a baseline for comparison. So since 2019, enrollment has declined 2.1%. However, when excluding global campus, it fell by 8.6%. Enrollment increased at 4 institutions, and as you see, it fell at the regional institutions, which experienced double-digit rates of decline, with enrollment declines exceeding 24% at University of Baltimore, Frostburg, and Coppin. This leads to concerns about the financial stability of these institutions, as they need to find ways to cover their revenue loss. We asked the Chancellor to comment on factors contributing to the decline in enrollment at the regional institutions, challenges to growing and increasing access to the institutions, and the impact of increased competition for fewer students among institutions. Exhibit 4 on page 10 breaks down undergraduate enrollment by student status. The largest decline in the number of students occurred in fall 21, and that was driven by over 5,000 students not returning to campus. Overall, the number of first-time students has recovered and exceeds the pre-pandemic level of over 14,600 students. Exhibit 5 on page 11 shows attrition level by student level. You'll note that the percentage of students not returning in 2020 declined across all levels, which seemed to indicate remote learning did not keep students from re-enrolling. However, the increase in 21 suggests they may not have had a positive experience. The rate of attrition has declined across all levels in 23, and for the freshmen, the rate has dropped from 30.2% in 2019 to 23% in 23. Since 2019, over 95,000 students did not return to the same institution, representing opportunities for these institutions. As I mentioned in the higher ed overview, the National Student Clearinghouse has identified those students who stopped out since 2020 as most likely to return and earn a degree. So we asked the Chancellor to comment on the institution's efforts to reach out to those who have stopped out and did not return to stop out and return to earn their degree. Exhibit 6 on page 14 compares MHEC's enrollment projections to those provided by the institutions that are shown in the governor's budget books. I note this because DBM broke from past practice of using enrollment numbers in the budget books for calculating the funding for the Cadence-Salinger formulas. Instead, MHEC's projections which are 7% higher than the budget books. And this has resulted in the reduction in the aid per FTES at the 4-year institutions, leading to the funding formulas to be being funded less than projected. Moving to student performance on page 14, Exhibit 7 shows the impact COVID had on the 2nd-year retention rate. And in general, the pandemic had the greatest impact on the 22 cohort. And I would note that their first year in college was done remotely, so they did not have that traditional, typical college experience. The rate for the 23 cohort has increased across all institutions except for Frostburg and Eastern Shore. Exhibit 8 on page 15 shows the 3rd-year retention rate. And overall, the rate for the 22 cohort was a mixed bag, improving at some and declining at others. And while the rates have not rebounded to the pre-pandemic levels, it is expected with improvements in the 2nd-year rate, the 3rd-year rate will improve for the 23 cohort. Turning to graduation rates on page 16, Exhibit 9 compares the 6-year graduation rates of the 14 and 18 cohorts. Overall, USM attained its highest rate of 61% with a 2014 cohort, which is the last one to graduate before the pandemic. The rate has since fallen to 57% with a 2018 cohort, which can be attributed to the pandemic in which fewer students enrolled or came back to campus. And this impact can be seen on undergraduate degree production, as shown in Exhibit 10 on page 17. After increasing to the highest number of degrees in 22, the number conferred decreased by 5% in 2023. If you exclude Global Campus, the number has declined 9.6% since 2022 to over 19,000 degrees, which is the fewest number awarded since 2012. Exhibit 11 on page 18 shows workforce and other